So, last week I had surgery. Now, the day after the surgery, I was a little bit in pain, all swollen as well. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna play my guitar. And in the meanwhile, I'm just gonna record myself playing the very first thing that I feel like playing. So this is what I played. Now, if we zoom in and break down the technique, you will see that I'm basically playing a lot of notes, but I'm not plucking all of them. Let's break down this simple idea. We pluck the first note, we hammer the second note, and we pluck the third note. So we are literally playing groups of 3 notes. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. With the exception of the last group, which is played with 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first step though is not about learning the notes and start practicing with the hammer-on technique. Instead, you want to learn the E major scale on the second string, because this is going to give you a reference of all the notes that we are going to use. So we have the second string, the fret number 4 with D sharp, then we have E, then we have F sharp and G sharp, then we have A, and we have B. So memorize all these notes: 4, 5, 7, and 9, 10, and 12. Once you memorize the E major scale on the second string, you can create groups of 2 notes. This is extremely important since this is the melodic approach that we're going to take. So you're always going to have the group number 1, which is fret number 4 and 5. Second group is fret 5 and 7. The third group is fret 7 and 9. And the fourth group is fret number 9, 10. And the group 5 is fret number 10, 12. So make sure that you practice these 5 groups. Now that we have that, we want to add the hammer-on technique. With this technique, we hammer the fret with the left hand. So we basically play the note not with the plucking technique, but with the hammer-on technique. So this is how it works. You pluck the first note, and then you hammer the second one. Now you're going to do the hammer-on with the finger 2 and the finger 3. So I'm going to play all the different groups. You have group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and group 5. Keep the thumb all the way down, keep it right in the middle, since if you have the thumb sitting on top of the neck, it's going to be really challenging to perform a correct hammer-on technique. Okay, so keep the thumb down. Now this is a nice exercise, but it doesn't sound that musical. So let's add the first string open, which is going to give away the key that we are in. So it's all about mixing these 5 different positions and trying to create a melody like this. So we're mainly playing groups of 3 notes. For example, the first one is the group number 1. So we have the index finger on the fret number 4, and we have fret number 4, hammer on, and first string open. And we repeat the same thing 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last group will be on fret number 10. In this case, this is the last group of each measure, and we're gonna play 4 notes instead of just 3. So we have 10, 12, first string open, but also the second string open. As you can see, I like to rest the thumb on the 3rd string. It's pretty easy to pluck the strings when you are resting the thumb on one of the strings. Now, bar number 2, remember that the last group will always have 4 notes. Now we have fret number 4, 10, 9, 7. So the whole thing together. Let's repeat the whole thing twice, but with a different bass note. The first time we're going to play the low E, which is going to give us a beautiful E major chord. The second chord is the A major, so we're going to play the A string open. Now this section alone is already quite useful and really good for your left hand technique. Of course, we can experiment with a lot of different chords, and this is what I did in section 2. It sounds like this. So we have way more chords. We're playing a C sharp minor chord, a B major, and a beautiful A major chord. Now, of course, we're gonna have to play the bass note with the C sharp on fret number 4, with the B on fret number 2, and the A string open. Now, in the instrumental that I played last week, though, I was playing the 4th string open, so I tuned the D string down to C sharp. So it's basically easier to play, so the melody is easier to play. Of course, I just had surgery and I just wanted to make things easier to play. So you can tune the 4th string to C sharp if you want and simplify the first position instead of having to play the fretted note. But I'm gonna link the tab for the instrumental as well, so you have the exact same tab for the music that I played last week. And of course, you're gonna have the tab for this tutorial, which is just slightly different since we are adjusting a few things for the tutorial. So we have C sharp minor, and we're gonna play the bass note on the fret number 4 on the A string. The melody is slightly different. The pattern is the same. We still have groups of 3 notes. This time we have fret number 2, hammer on 4, and the first string open. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last time is always 4 notes. We have fret number 2, pull off, fret number 4 again, and the first string open. So with the bass note we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing with the B. Now this one is the most challenging since the hammer on is done with the pinky. So finger 2 and finger 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have the A major, which is the easiest chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then A major again. This time we're going to move up the neck. So it's fret number 2, 4, 5, 7, and 9. When I put the whole thing together, I'm going to repeat the same thing. Now for the A major, we're gonna play a different thing. We're gonna go all the way up the neck right away. We have fret number 2, 4, 5, 7, and 9. Remember that the last group is always 4 notes. And we finish with the fret number 12, 11, 12 again on the second string, first string open. This phrase is really conclusive. And we have a short outro. We go back to the E major chord. So why did I play this musical idea after surgery? Well, I don't really know, but I think that once you get surgery, you have to rest and you gotta sleep more and rest more and you can't really do things. So after a day, I was already bored, to be honest, and playing this melody really made me feel like I was moving. It made me feel like I was running somewhere. So it felt pretty good, and that's the most important thing. Now I'm gonna leave you to practice this beautiful melody. Make sure that you focus a lot on the A section, which is way easier. And then when you feel ready, you can move on to the B section where you have way more chords. Of course, the tab is available on my Patreon page. Make sure that you keep playing, keep practicing, and I'll talk to you